What's up, kings and queens? It's your boy Dan from Daft Previews, and I've got Juicy J from Land Your Bets. Oh, I was close. What, what's your Twitter handle again?
I like Juicy J actually. Bands That Make Her Dance is kind of my theme song. So if you want to rock that as my intro, I'm down. But it's JL Boogie.
JL Boogie.
Close
Juicy
enough.
J will do.
I love it.
All right. So as we do, I was gonna speak to this as if we do this all the time, but drop your best bets in the chat. If you have any questions, feel free to throw them down. We'll be previewing the games today. We'll probably spend more time on this Fever versus Aces game. I think that's what's got everybody erect, and then we'll see what ridiculous things I come up with. Sound good? Let's
man.
go.
Are you gonna brag at all about yesterday though?
Nah, I'm not that type of guy.
Oh man, you're so humble. So much respect. I'll do it for you. My man crushed it yesterday. Hit a little 66-1. Some of that parlay science. You got me thinking about how I'm going to be making those types of plays alongside you, man. Those were fire.
Yeah. I'm right. I've checked my numbers on my straight bets. I'm right 57% of the time. I actually got a comment in my last video saying 57%. Is that it? I was like, geez, I thought that was okay. But I was like, when I'm right, boy, am I right.
Yep. Worked out.
Shout out to you, Robert Gibberton. You be smashing my comments. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. All right, let's get into this. NaLyssa Smith rebounds. Let's not muck around. For those of you who have not seen this before, this is Outlier. It's the best tool to get all your data for your player props. If you're interested, there's a 7-day free trial in all of my videos or in Juicy J's or Land Your Bets. You can check that shit out. NaLyssa Smith rebounds. Didn't think that would come up today. But let's take a look.
Too.
Yeah. All right.
People on my Discord were talking trash on A'ja Wilson's rebounding, so maybe there's something to it.
Right. Let's go. All right. NaLyssa Smith lines at 6.5 plus 100 to the over. She's hitting 5 out of her last 10. Good rebounding numbers in head-to-head matchups against the Aces. 4 out of her last 5. Sheesh. Even in the 2 games this season, 18 and 26 minutes, averaging 10 rebounds per game, though. So this could be a nice look here. In her last 10, averaging 21.2. But minutes are wild up and down. Any stat at Fag Benley, Dantas, are they 100% to go? Because that's the only risk in this play. I think it's the rotation. It's like, how many minutes do you think she's going to get?
Yeah,
is my thing here.
I think everyone's healthy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No one's on the report in terms of like Fag Benley being out there or anything.
Yeah. Yeah. So it really comes down to rotations, really, and how they play. So, which makes this difficult. I think this would be like this type of bet will make you look and feel great. But you'll also feel stupid if she, plays 16 minutes, gets 3 rebounds. Yeah. You'll be like, what's going on here, right? So I think that's the risk in this play, Ryan. If you looked at this, I'm like, fuck, this is a great pick. But as of late, just the rotations are all over the place. We don't know how many minutes NaLyssa Smith is going to get. And I think A'ja Wilson's been playing the 4 a lot more. It's not just the 5. She's playing the 4 a lot more. So does that mean NaLyssa Smith gets more or less minutes, right? I think due to her size, she'll probably get less, but I could be wrong. So, yeah.
Well, so what's she been averaging? I guess since the break, so like last 10 or 11.
6 boards.
Oh no, for the minutes. Sorry.
Oh, minutes. 21.
Ugh, that's gross.
Yeah.
All right, let me do this. I'm putting it like 0 to 21. I'm just using prop madness real quick. Doesn't really give you much. When she's at about 21 minutes, she's 2 of 10 when she plays 0 to 21 minutes.
Yeah.
If you put it up to like 25 minutes, 5 out of 15.
So even still, the hit rate's not great.
Yeah, it seems like she needs to be the focal point and that there needs to be somebody out, like you were saying. Like Fag Benley's been out, but now she's cut into her rotation for sure. So where she was getting like maybe 28 minutes, now she's getting 20, 21, like you said. That's really, that's your reasoning. I will say, if you're looking at Outlier too, right, like versus forwards is where the Aces are the weakest.
Yeah.
So somebody like NaLyssa to do their thing would be it, but that's not where the Fever generate their points. And they have been way better at rebounding, but that's also because they've had all their bigs back and have a healthy rotation. So
yeah,
I think 6.5 is too high in this context. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I would do if I was you, Ryan. I would go back because they've played each other twice already this season. I'd watch the highlights from that game. And what I would do is just watch NaLyssa Smith. Anytime the Fever have the ball and there's a highlight, who is she defending? Like, what is going on in this game? It'll give you a good idea of what that matchup looks like.
Yeah.
Because one thing you might find is because Lexie Hull's now the 3, and she's a rebounding machine. She's listed as a guard, but she's playing the 3. And she could be the one to gobble up a lot of rebounds based off this data, is what I'm saying. So, yeah. But I think that's a good look. One to get us really thinking.
Lexie Hull, another pretty girl coming to fuck us. Not how we wanted it.
When have we ever complained about that? But
exactly.
All right. So which one do we have next up on the list? Can we do Jackie Young? 4.5 assists. I could definitely do young Jackie. Let's go. Jay Young. We're looking at the assists. And you want to know about the over. Jackie Young's an odd specimen these days. Post this All-Star break, she's been terrible. But let's take a look. Line's at 4.5, minus 112 to the over. She's hitting 3 out of her last 10, still averaging 4.8 assists. That's inflated after a 14 assist effort against Phoenix. Overall, this Indiana team, 5th most assists allowed for some reason, only the 3rd fewest to guards. I don't know how that checks out.
Yeah.
But head-to-head matchups, 6 and 10 assists in the 2 games this season. So, what do you think, Josh? What's your thought?
So I've been off all Jackie Young and Chelsea Gray bets basically since Chelsea Gray came back. They're not like the same player by any means, but that clearly ate into some of her stuff.
They eat into each other.
Exactly.
It's like Bonner and Thomas eating each other. Oh, it's not like that at all. But I get what you mean.
Damn, that was a good reference. Subtle. Jackie. Yeah, I mean, this is something that the Fever are good at stopping. This Fever defense is terrible, like any way you look at it, right? Like there's nothing to make you think like an over in this game is a play, first of all. So then it comes down to like, how are they scoring? So at that point, first of all, I like Asia to score. So are you saying that means that Jackie Young is diming up Asia? Is she diming up threes more so? Where the Fever, I mean, look, like I said, they're bad everywhere. I don't know that the number itself is not one. It's like right on her number, right? She's at like about 5.3, it looks like on the season. And if you look at teams that are like not giving up assists to basically to her position, like top 4 in the league, you look at it that way, she's 3 for 12 going over this number, averaging about 4, right? When it's teams that are in the top 5 limiting assists.
Yeah.
So this is just there's just no edge for me to take an over here like that. I don't think that's how they're generating points in this game, and it's not a number that's like, lower than it should be for any reason. It's pretty much exactly where it should be. So
yeah, I think the challenge, you could say the good thing about the Aces, they're pretty much running a 3-guard offense, right? Which is why their offense is great, but their defense probably isn't. You can't have 3 guards out there. You're bound to run into mismatches. Yeah. But that means Gray's going to get assists. Kelsey Plum's been getting 4 to 5 assists every game too. And, and Jackie Young's out there. So you got 3 ball handlers, and their pure role is to hit open shots and find Asia Wilson in the high post. Like whoever's passing her that ball. So it's not I think it's very difficult to predict the assists here. Yeah. For any player, any of the 3 players for the Aces.
Yeah. There's no edge in the number by itself. And when you look at the matchup and dive into it, definitely not an edge.
Yeah. All right. Sauce is back. So Sauce gave me the juice on the Mabry play yesterday.
Yeah.
So for those of you who in my VIP and you cash out 3 units profit on Marina Mabry, you got to thank this man right here. He sent me in the right direction. We did the research and we put in some gold. So let's get through Kelsey Plum and her 3-point ladder. So I know that I like this. I love it to bits. Something about Kelsey Plum, but also the prop as well.
Don't know what it is.
So her over 2.5 3-pointers minus 137. Cash in 4 straight, eating the Fever alive in the 2 games, 3 and 6 3-pointers made Indiana allow the second most 3-pointers. They don't defend above the break at all. Kelsey Plum lives there. They're not good at defending spot-up shooters. 25% of her shots come up from spot-up shooting. Now, I'm saying all this because I put this in my video last night because I love the Plum play. But he wants to talk about the ladder, and I like ladders.
Get it.
A little bit of snakes and ladder, and I'm not gifted in the snake department, so I'm a ladder guy. But plus 172 for 3.5. I'd go all the way up to 5, personally. Staking wise, I'd go 1 unit on 3, half a unit on 4, quarter of a unit on 5. That's how I'd run it. I really like this look. Josh, I'm assuming you like it too, because like you'd be crazy not to like this play because it makes so much sense. The risk here is that everything makes so much sense for this. And you know how like sometimes it looks too good to be true, and then you wake up with somebody's fist up your ass. Like, yeah, that's what could happen. I'm not saying it will, but I love this play.
So, but if it's Kelsey Plum with her fist up your ass when you wake up, it could be worse. But I would say, yeah, the problem is it got nuked, right? Like, I think. So the minus 137 I'm seeing is just prize picks. So if you want to take it on a straight book, it's about minus 155 on FanDuel.
Oh, it's gotten worse.
That's 2.5 though. That's 2.5.
Yeah.
You're talking about laddering, getting your juice in there.
So
yeah,
here it is. Here we go. Yeah, here's the different odds. Yeah, nuked. So it was already juiced when it opened. It opened up like juiced to the max, and yeah, it's only going further. So yeah.
I mean, so did you put the ladder in your video? My bad, I missed that.
No, I spoke about it. I ended up going. I personally went with Kelsey Plum's points because she does more than just shoot. Yeah, she'll drive, she'll pop floaters, she'll get out in transition.
Yeah.
I did say if you want a safer pick, the 3-3-pointers is the way to go, but I ain't safe.
Yeah, no, you're not. But I think the three. If you think she's the one that's going to be hoisting those threes, then that's a look for sure. Because this team just does not stop the perimeter. Period.
Yeah.
End of story. And they definitely don't stop the 3-ball from going up. So if she's spotting up the way that she has been, as opposed, like, remember obviously when Chelsea Gray was out, she was a lot more of the point guard, a little bit less spotting up, and that was kind of annoying to try to bet on her points or threes. Now she's spotting up all day. That's her most consistent play.
She's playing the 2 and the 2 only. That's right.
Right. Yep. And she's getting out into transition. So I have no problem betting on all that stuff, points or threes, because if she's going to hit 5 threes, I would imagine she's going to get 20 points.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Okay.
She has some somewhat rough games in here where she, like, 3-point shooting wise, and in those games she didn't necessarily get her points, but she took so many threes that she ended up hitting like the threes are a much more
they're the
safer rate. Yeah.
I called that out to say threes are the safer pick. There's been a lot of games where she hasn't covered 18.5 points, but she still hit 3 threes.
Like, 100%.
That happens plenty of times. But
I'm
not a big fan of juice, so if I can get the best odds possible, I'll take it. So,
I know it.
18.5. All right. Next, what's this? Aaliyah Boston over 6 rebounds. That's not her line, right? That's way too low.
It was like 9.5.
Okay.
And it is still that.
It's still that. All right. Well, we'll talk about the 9.5 anyway.
So if 6 is like minus 2,000, still probably not worth it. I'll be honest with you.
Still not worth it. No. Like, if you're going to take an alternate line like that, that better be hitting at 100%.
Yeah, exactly.
But her line, 8.5, you can probably get it at 9.5 as well. It's plus money, plus 115 at 9.5. 6 out of her last 10, averaging 10 boards per game. Aces, second fewest rebounds allowed to centers. 2 games against them this year, 6 and 11 boards, 26 and 35 minutes. Over her last 10, she's playing 33.8 minutes. Pretty consistent there in her efforts. These games where she hasn't, a lot of these were foul trouble. I know that because I usually bet on Aaliyah Boston, bitch.
Yeah.
But 8.5 boards. Let's talk about Aaliyah Boston because I like her points prop in this game, but we'll start with her boards. What are your thoughts on it?
My thoughts on her, the hit rate is terrible for 9.5. It's absolutely terrible. And look, it's terrible in general. When you put Temi in there, talking about 5 out of 18 games, right? That's really what this is. And like, Fag Bentley was a projected starter. She was going to be a big part of this team until she just got hurt for the first 3/4 of it, 4/5 of it, whatever. She's only been back for a couple of weeks and she hasn't really even ramped up to full rotation, but just the 10 to 15 or whatever minutes she gets eats into the rotation of NaLyssa Smith and Aaliyah Boston. It's just plain and simple. So their stuff has gone down. You look at her without Temi in there, we're talking about 50% hit rate, averaging 10. There's no edge there. If as far as like I was saying, we were talking trash on A'ja Wilson's rebounding, but that was kind of a joke, to be honest with you. I mean, she's still a beast as much as anybody in the league. So it's not somebody that I would just go in and be like, oh, that's cupcake, so they're going to get boards on her. I think people in my Discord are probably just pissed off because they recently bet a couple of A'ja Wilson rebounds in the wrong moment. And that's what we do. And then we get mad at her. But no, I mean, versus if you want to say for A'ja, for instance, right? Like, okay, the rebounds allowed against her because the way that the Fever have increased their rebounding over the course of the last 2 weeks. I was saying it last night, they're third in rebounding since we got back from the break as a team. But that's as a team, not individuals, right? The individual rebounding prop numbers for for NaLyssa Smith and for Aaliyah Boston have not been there. 9.5 is more of an under for me. But I'd like to hear about your points in favor of her points, because I'm always scared to just go under points if I think someone's going over rebounds or vice versa. You shouldn't be scared.
You should run straight into that. I think that's a great look because you get excellent odds for it, my friend. So we're looking at 15.5. I think this was minus 106. It was plus money when I got on it. So it's only moved a little bit to the over. My thought process around this is, one, this last 3 games has given me more confidence in Aaliyah Boston because post the All-Star break, 7 straight games going under, and I'd probably bet on her twice in that shit stretch where she had favorable matchups. This Mercury matchup, this Seattle matchup, even Minnesota. These are all favorable matchups for her and her play style. And she sucked ass. So it was very disappointing. And then this last 3-game stretch, I had her as a lean on the Spark and she destroyed them. And then she's just been beasting it ever since. Now, I'm not expecting 20-plus points, but what I need to see is this type of volume from her. 16, 15, 16. And watching these games, a lot of this is in pick-and-roll actions. And it's in this stretch where she went under her points prop. This is when she was diming up like crazy, right? Pick and roll, she catches it from the top. As she's rolling to the rim, she finds shooters in the corners or on the baseline. So Caitlin Clark was getting a lot of hockey assists at that time because Aaliyah Boston wasn't shooting the damn ball much.
Gotcha.
This gives me some confidence that the volume is there. In these matchups, I took a look, this 12 and 18 points. The risk, there's foul trouble as a risk, but this 18-point effort, when I went back and watched the film, keeping in mind the Fever lost this game almost 20 points, and Aaliyah Boston still scored 18. So this should be her line. I think it should be around here, 16.5, 17.5, because that would make me hesitate. At the 15.5, I was happy to take it given how she scores. Now, she does score in the post, right? But she's actually quite versatile for someone her size. She scores in the post when it suits her. Yeah. But she's also great in that pick and roll.
Yep.
You can't score in the post against this team. That pick and roll is going to be money for everybody. So the correlation here is Caitlin Clark over in her assists into Boston points.
So you think she might be scoring from the extended paint and like free throw line area sometimes?
Yes. And I think it also depends how they play, because if A'ja Wilson is picking her up, I know that A'ja Wilson and co, they're going to blitz Caitlin Clark on the screens because they don't want that above the breakthrough. Like this Aces team is terrible defending the pick and roll. They're not the ball handler and the roller, right?
Right.
But against the Fever, it's almost as if they switch on, and it's not that they get better at it, but they change. They don't just switch everything.
Right.
They actually hedge and blitz these screens because they don't want Caitlin Clark bombing on them.
It's so like some of this stuff is so weird in terms of how the Aces play defense, like you're saying, because they give up the fewest points inside of 5 feet. They give up the most points in every other area of the paint.
Yeah.
So if you're not inside of 5 feet, but you're in the paint, they give up the most points. But if you're inside 5 feet, they give up the fewest points. Like, what the hell are we talking about? Then you talk about that, and then you look at some of the recent numbers of players like Aaliyah Boston against this team. Brianna Jones, 17. Brittany Griner, 24. Parker Titus. Cheyenne Parker Titus, who is barely playing this season, 17 points. Aaliyah Boston in that next game, 18. Brianna Jones next game, 18. Brittany Griner next game, 25.
Oh, yeah.
That's like 7 in a row with players that are just like, and Boston. So Like, I guess don't let, and the fact that the play that she scores the most off of is post ups and then the pick and roll, and they're second best at defending the post up. But if they're going to be running pick and roll with CC all day, I don't think that Kelsey Mitchell is going to and spot up shooters off of CC are going to get theirs, which means if CC is diming up, it's going to Boston or she's shooting it. So those are the two players I'd be looking at points, to your point there. I think that's smart. And I think I'm now talking myself into trying to get into that parlay science where it's like under boards, over points. You got me kind of convinced here. That might be a nice little like 3.5 to 1, I bet.
Yeah, I go half, but that's just me.
All right.
All right, let's move along. Want to bet on Wilson points. Jackie assists we've gone through, but let's talk through Asia. Now, last night, when I was checking RotoWire for the lineups, Asia was there, but when I was checking the sports book, I couldn't find anything for Asia. Then I heard whispers around her not playing because of this leg injury.
Yeah.
Is there any news on this? Like, she's definitely good to go?
The thing is, she's had her props were up for me last night, and they've been up. Okay. She's not on RotoWire, and she wasn't on ESPN either in terms of the injury reports.
Let's assume she's good to go then.
We gotta assume she's playing. Yeah, I just looked at both of them again, and there's nothing there.
This opened at 26.5, right?
Did it go up?
27.5 plus 100.
Hell yeah! So we got some CLV on the Land Your Bets network.
Let's go.
So yeah, I love the 26.5. I did, and I would play it up to 27.5. It's plus 105, right? Yeah, okay. If you're getting plus money, I would play it up to 27.5. The 26.5 was fire. My reasoning, real quick, it's like one like do not. This is a trend. Star players playing against Christian Clark, Caitlin Clark, right? She plays like a Christian Clark, damn. But they go off. They want to prove there's something to that, right? Like players like Dejanay Carrington, not the most offensively gifted, so they resort to like punching Caitlin Clark in the face. Those who can score well, like Jewel Lloyd or Taurasi, even when she played and Asia Wilson and like all these players, Stewie, they love scoring on her to be like, yo, you ain't it yet. Like, we know you're nice, but you're not it yet. And so that's why Asia 28 and 29 versus Indy, 25 for 40 from the field. So just like owning it. And really, when you look at her playing against teams who are not in the top 5, limiting paint points. So like ranking anywhere from 6th to last in defending the paint, which is right on the cusp. The Fever are 6th best, 6th worst. They're right in the middle, however you want to look at it. But she is averaging 30 points a game and has gone over an 18 of 23. So if you can't defend right next to the basket or right in the extended paint, you can't stop Asia Wilson. I don't think they're going to be able to again. Yeah, I agree. I was definitely leaning to the over. I was like, I can't bet on her. But at the same time, already had a few bets in this game. I didn't want to go crazy. But yeah, I support the over here for Asia Wilson. It just makes the most sense. Normally, if I'm betting Asia Wilson, I'm betting under her PRA if it's above 40, depending on the matchup, because I think that line's tough as hell. But I'm not taking any unders against this Fever team. I'll tell you that. Yeah, exactly.
As much as I want to.
Yeah. I did. Oh, go. Yeah, let's get into CC. Go ahead.
Let's get into CC?
Yeah.
All right. Under 22.5 is what Stedman's looking at. You're a brave man. So, 8 out of her last 10, 5 straight, averaging almost 25 points in her last 10 games. 2 games against the Aces this season, 8 and 13 points. What do we have? 28, 37 minutes, 8 and only 12 shot attempts. These days, she's taken 17 shots per game, 10 of those being 3-pointers, and she's shooting those at 39%. She's almost getting 50, 40, 90 on these splits in the last 10 games. So I think this is a wild look. It's a very brave take looking at her under. I think at the moment, the only unders I would only look at for Caitlin Clark is looking at her assists with a difficult as hell matchup. Outside of that, I don't have the cojones to bet her under here. Now, I'm not saying to bet her over, but this girl is progressing like a machine. So these head-to-head numbers, back in May and July, she's nothing. During that All-Star break, I don't know what happened, but they got to be drug testing her. Do you have any insight as to what happened?
There was the Olympics snub.
Snub, right.
So how long can you hold on to that for?
How long can you hold on to that for?
I mean, something could have clicked too. I mean, we see this with rookies all the time. And like it's interesting because like in the NBA, the rookies towards the third, like once you get into like the last third of the season, they hit a wall because they just played like 35, 40 games, right, in their season. Well, the stupid thumbs up. In the WNBA, what they're playing, like, right, they're not even playing 40 games. It's the same as college. So for her to just get used to the league and be able to figure some stuff out, like they weren't even playing bad defenses as she's been going off. You know what I mean? And she is leading the league in assists since they came back from the break. So yeah, I don't know how to get rid of that stupid fucking thing.
Yeah, it's fucking ruined everything. What if it take you out and bring you back?
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So for Caitlin Clark, I would have bet the under in her points. That's just because I'm not brave enough. I'm not like, but at the same time, she's versed some difficult competition. 2 games against Minnesota post the break. She's met the Seattle Storm. She went over in both of those games, and those 2 teams are much better at defending guards than this Aces team, is what I'd say. So, so Josh is refreshing. He'll be back in a minute, but let's keep moving. So, JK, you want to talk about Clark's rebounds? You've got over 4.5 in 72% of games, 80% in the last 20, 100% in all 3 games head to head. Over 5.5 is tempting, but it got bumped down to 5, looking for a second leg. So, Caitlin Clark rebounds. Even if you're just looking at 5, you're talking about someone who finishes on 5 a lot. So, if you're only betting on hit rates, sure, right? She's hit it a lot, so go for it. But if we're talking about the science of basketball and how we foresee this happening, it may be tough. So it's hard to explain how she gets these boards. You can run the argument that the Fever bigs, one of the bigs anyway, is going to have to deal with A'ja Wilson taking 20 shots at the top of the key. That's going to take them out of position, which means Caitlin Clark's or your Lexie Hulls are probably going to get more rebounds that way. If A'ja misses, she shot 25 from 40, right? So, if she misses. So, I can't give you enough reasons to take the over or the under, but if you're back in an alternate line, you're going lower to go safer, then on hit rates, go for your life. I'm not going to knock that strategy because I did that for a long time and I had some success with it, right? Yeah. The source coming with Lexie Hull.
But what's the hit rate argument? Like, I guess my last thing would be like if whoever just brought up the boards, if you can throw in the chat like why you're looking at it too, JK. Yeah, if you want to throw it in the chat why you're looking at it, I'd be interested because some people threw that out in my Discord as well, but I didn't have enough time to see why they liked it. So I'm wondering if there's something there because the hit rate's only like 3%.
Yeah, 16 out of 20 games.
Oh, her last 20.
Yeah. So she's always going to get there, close to.
Got it.
If you pull this down, and if you're getting it on like Prize Picks for -137, like it's probably a good look based on the hit rate. That makes sense. But for us, sports bettors, probably not the best.
Yeah, no.
Let's get into Sexy Lexie. Is that what people call her, or?
I mean, anybody who's attractive and named Alexis, I imagine is Sexy Lexie. You got it.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the props available here, we got points and threes. How does she not have a rebound prop? Are you kidding me?
Is she Australian?
Shit. She didn't play for the Opals. I know that for sure.
Never mind.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm going to Google it later, or someone will. Let me know. I haven't done a Lexie Hull rabbit hole yet, but
real quick, because I saw Alex has been dying to know about, because we were just on Caitlin Clark. If we could stay on her stuff for a minute, he wanted to know about her turnovers.
Oh,
and I know you don't really play turnovers. Okay, Matt Taylor said she's American. Lexie Hull's American.
I do bet turnovers, but it's only on LeBron James
or Luka Doncic. I bet
no. I'm a Mavs guy, so I would never do something like that. Yeah. All right. Let's look at Caitlin's turnover.
The Josh Green, Dante Exum factor. That's why you're a Mavs fan.
Yeah, Josh Green is gone. We need to get more in there.
Yeah.
All right. Jesus, 5.5 is the line for turnovers. I didn't realize it was this. Well, actually, I watched the games and she just lets that. She's like Russell Westbrook, just letting that thing go.
Yeah.
She's just not willing to fight anybody just yet. But
not yet. But they're trying to fight her.
So when it's turnovers forced, this is saying that the Aces actually force a lot of turnovers to guard. So that's good.
Yeah.
4 straight. And
no surprise there with Chelsea Gray and Jackie Young back there, and even Kelsey Plum.
And Young is her primary defender.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Oh, I'll let you take it from here because I never look at turnovers.
I didn't look at it, but I actually had a buddy who I talked to pretty frequently about the W. I mean, definitely almost every day, weekly though. But he was on under her turnovers. And he was kind of spreadsheet betting. He was just like, look, this is just not something that she does. He wasn't really like looking too much at it. So wait, turnovers. Oh, there's a 6.5 line if you have Betano. I think they might have taken it down for a sec because I'm actually not seeing it outside of Prize Picks or like the European book. But Prize Picks 5.5 still. Do you have on Outlier? It's saying they have other books up with it.
No, just Prize Picks.
Okay, got it. Okay, well, if you want it as a Prize Picks play, if you're talking about the over, I mean, she's got the ball in her hands the whole damn time. The problem is like the Aces are the worst at defending the pick and roll ball handler, like you mentioned earlier. Like, and they are literally the worst at giving up the most points to the pick and roll ball handler. So, like,
they're good at transition defense though, and
they are.
She gets a lot of turnovers just tossing that thing ahead.
100%.
One thing I've noticed about the W is that these girls, like, if you throw the ball in front of them, a lot of them can't get it for some reason.
There's a reason there's no WNFL, right? Like, no one's playing cornerback or wide receiver. That's a woman. It's just what it is. So, like, yes, that's a really good.
This is a whole O line, just all of them.
I mean, Camila Cardoso would be my first pick for sure, but
I'll go with T-Rex McCowan for me.
But yeah, no, I mean, I don't have much for it. Like, this is probably a fair number because of the fact that I'm so back and forth on it. I think it's interesting that it's 6.5 on the only other book that would have it, which is, like I said, Betano, which is only available in like Europe. So, I mean, it is something that she's hit pretty consistently. She's going up against a team that forces a ton of turnovers, but she's also going up against a team that doesn't really force them against the point guard specifically, or the ball handler, whatever you want to call that position. So that's why I think it's right on. And there's really no juice to it. I wouldn't be adding it to a slip, but like I said, someone who's actually made a shit ton of money on the W this year that I talked to is on the under. So for whatever that's worth, I know it's kind of hollow.
Copy that. I'd take the over just because I don't like agreeing with people. Sexy Lexie. Let's take a look at these 3-pointers. It's a plus money play. If you take over 2.5 from the Souls himself. I think she's the best 3-point shooter post the All-Star break, right? I think she's number 1. She's beating your girl Stephanie Dolson in percentage.
Percentage, yeah.
70% in the last 10. Oh God, she's going crazy. Now she's playing extremely well. I've actually been looking for a market for quite some time. This matchup, though, probably not it's not an easy matchup, but it's not like a difficult matchup by no stretch of the imagination. But in saying that, she's had difficult matchups: Minnesota, Seattle, defend the perimeter extremely well, Connecticut. She's covered this line in all of them. So I think fuck the matchup. Lexie Hull, if you're thinking about it, she's probably one of the least threatening players in their starting lineup.
Yeah.
She's going to get her shots. Like, she's going to get good looks.
She's going to be forgotten.
Yes. So I do like this play. Source. You the man.
Is this points or what is this? Sorry, this threes?
3-pointers made.
All right, yeah, there it is.
Over 1.5 is minus 110. But if you look at 2.5, you can get plus 265. So we could have a sexy Lexie ladder here, which I think is a really good look.
Interesting.
Yeah. It just comes down to whether you think she can still shoot 70% from deep, because she's only attempting on average 3.3. You got to predict this volume, whether it's going to be there. But I think, the 1.5 I could dance with, and knowing me, 3+ is also a good look.
Has Fag Benley's presence not really hasn't really messed with her minutes, has it? Yeah.
No, if anything, minutes wise, Lex is on the up.
Oh yeah, she's been going above 30 rather than what she was playing.
Yeah, she's gone up. And I think one thing that also lends to the fact she'll play a lot of minutes today is the Aces play 3 guards. Yeah. So
if you want to match up with them,
it makes sense that you probably see less NaLyssa Smith minutes because she's the 4. She's like PJ Tucker, really. I watched her and I was like, this is PJ Tucker.
Yeah.
But Lexie at the 3, she is a guard as well. And I could see her definitely getting a lot of minutes today, which is going to result in more attempts, I'd assume. So, I like this play.
Interesting.
I think that's a good look.
Yeah, I think I get that. The only hesitation I have is versus spot up in transition. Those are the things that this Aces team excels at. So that is why I'm on a Kelsey Mitchell under points, by the way.
Yes. I gotcha. Yeah, sometimes I might fuck the matchup. When I look at
and that's fine, especially in the W, honestly. There's a little bit less consistency in terms of like that sticking to that level of like game plan, if you will, right? That we're just like the Pacers, they for the entire season, right? That's kind of how I see the Aces a lot, is like they'll give everything you want to the pick and roll ball handler for some reason, but they're sticking to their dudes. They're not double teaming, which is what you get from the Aces as well, which is why those spot ups don't happen. But at the same time, then there's plenty of examples like a Lexie Hull breaking the math on that.
Yeah. What else is there? Chelsea Gray assist came up. This is from Ryan as well. Over 4.5. Yeah, so this line's come down. It normally sits around 4.5, 5.5. But the matchup is I'd say a decent one, but it's quite low. It's juiced, right? Minus 145. Hit in 4 straight, 6 of her last 10. She hasn't she's played 1 game against the Fever this season. 4 assists. She only got 19 minutes. I think this was close to a return with the minutes restriction and all that. So I wouldn't worry about that 4 assist game against the Fever. Recent form is looking good. I'd lean to the over, but I wouldn't bet this at these odds. And I don't love it enough to be like, this is good. Let me parlay it with Asia 20 points or anything like that. So, yeah.
With you.
Okay. All right. Sweet. What else we got? Oh, it's your girl, Kelsey Mitchell.
Yep.
Now, I like her game.
Ooh, that's a lot of threes, though. She is leading the league, I believe. No, she's leading the league in threes made, actually. Yeah, I think.
She is.
Yeah. Well, sorry, since the break, we've got since coming back from the break, we've got wait, I just had these numbers up. Hold on. Kelsey Mitchell and old girl have been going absolutely insane. Kelsey Mitchell leads the league in points. Yeah. Since no, wait. Hold on. I promise I'm not gonna fuck this up. Hold on. Stand by. Give me literally 2 more seconds. Getting into this. CCKM last 10 games. Okay, she's second in points, third in threes made. CC is third in points, first in threes made, and first in assists since coming back from the break.
Right. Damn,
so
yeah, she good. Kelsey Mitchell's good. Like she's one of those players in the W that plays like a man.
No,
like, that's a compliment. Like
straight skill. No, she's very, very one of the most skilled wings in the league without question.
Yeah, I think her NBA comes for like Terry Rozier.
Maybe. If you're making it relevant to the W, it might be like Devin Booker.
Devin Booker. Nah. Devin.
Wait, who are we insulting right now? Devin Booker or Kelsey Mitchell?
No, I would never insult Kelsey Mitchell. But
okay,
let's talk about this prop. So we've got 2.5. You can look at 3.5 as well. I think this one's the challenge here, right? You got recent form, excellent. Volume's great. Percentages are pretty decent. 44% from deep on 8.2 attempts in their last 10 games. We've also got the form against the Aces, 3 and 5 3-pointers made in the 2 games, attempted 10 3-pointers in both of those. But the Aces, they do not allow spot-up shooting very well. Awful in the pick and roll, but for these spot-up shooters and known spot-up shooters is where I probably get a little bit hesitant. Your Lexie Hull probably, she's not going to be higher up on the tip sheet than Kelsey Mitchell, right? So they'll probably have a game plan for this. And also one thing to factor in is in these 2 games that she's played the Aces where she got 10 3-point attempts and she made 3 and 5. We just went through the Caitlin Clark numbers not long ago. Caitlin Clark was awful in those games.
Yeah.
Now you've got a confident Caitlin Clark who's taking more shots, higher usage rate. Kelsey Mitchell's not necessarily getting 10 3-pointers off that often anymore. So I think there's a risk here. If you just looked at the numbers, it all makes sense. But if we talk about the evolution of Aaliyah Boston throughout the season, the evolution of Caitlin Clark throughout the season, it's probably not as safe to take the over. And over 2.5 at minus 137 is definitely not something that I'm going to muck around with. Let's talk about points. You said you were going to take her under?
I did, and it actually dropped. I don't think there's any more 21.5s around.
Right. So you took the under 21.5?
Yep.
That's a brave play.
It's a brave play. That's a lot of green for sure. for sure.
Well, tell us why. Let's just fucking give everyone anxiety right now.
Totally. It's really simple. It's like I said, the Aces, they play defense like the Indiana Pacers. They don't allow the spot up shooters to stay open. They stick to them. They give up the fewest points there. Or third fewest points to that play. They also give up the fewest points off of to players that are coming off of screens. That's not the pick and roll. So that's the one screen they suck at defending. The one they're good at defending is if you're trying to screen for a shooter curling around you, right? That kind of thing. So that was a huge part of it. Just the way that they play D. They don't give up free throws. What's really interesting is, like, if you look at the teams that defend that type of stuff well, specifically, any team that's in the top 4 at defending the screen and the spot up shooters, the Kelsey Mitchell has only gone over in 4 of 14 for this number.
Wow. Okay.
So under in 10 of 14 versus teams that defend this play type really well. Like, the only thing that scares me is, do the Aces say F that and just blitz CC?
Yeah.
They could. They very well could, and then I'd be screwed. But, like, the way that they play defense all season has been that. And so I'm going to stick with it. Which, by the way, the Aces have the 3rd best defensive rating since the break as well in the last 11 games. So while they were about, like, 8th best for most of the season, they really stepped it up in the last, like, 10, 11 games.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think this is a great example. And you see this quite often in NBA and WNBA as well, right? This hit rate is amazing, but the book still set the line here. It's not like you didn't catch them sleeping. Like, they've set it low for a reason.
Yeah.
And it's because this matchup is difficult.
Right. Yeah.
I'd be on the fence. I wouldn't say take the over or the under. I'm just like, I'm going to back the fuck off here. But I get your angle, and it makes complete sense.
I like to cause controversy too. I mean, my comments of that video with Kelsey Mitchell's under were filled with, like, you're a fucking idiot, which, like, I don't know. I'm a glutton for fucking hate, I guess. Honestly.
Let's not get into Camilla Harris now. Plum assist or Jackie assist. We spoke about this at the top. Look, there's no call on it. Like, if you just looked at the numbers, Kelsey Plum, if you looked at her numbers, looks like the more reliable assist getter in this team over the last 5-10 games.
Yeah.
Jackie Young's last 10 games have been wildly inconsistent. But given the way that this team plays their offense, you can't predict it, really. They just swing, find Asia Wilson.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Or shoot the 3. Yeah.
Yeah. Aaliyah Boston over 18.5 points and assists. We went through this as well, went through her points, but I like the over there because there's a lot of pick and roll actions, and Aaliyah Boston gets that as the roller, and she's either going to pass it and get the assist, or she's going to shoot it. Like, it's that straightforward. Hey, Robbie. Plum loves the spotlight, and with a sold-out house tonight, don't surprise if she goes off. I will not be surprised. I will be rejoicing because my play on Kelsey Plum would have cashed. We've got one for Chennedy Carter.
Oh, hell yeah.
I forgot there were other games on. My bad.
I know. No, it's good because this other game starts in like 15 minutes, so it's good we got that.
Okay, let's go. We're looking at her rebounds plus assists. So you can get 8.5 minus 136. You're looking at over 9.5. It's plus 105. So we'll just move that line up a little bit for you, RJ. She's cashing 5 out of her last 10. When did she come back? How many games back from COVID is she? 2 or 3? I think 2 games. 2 games back from COVID. We've also got no Angel Reese. 16 and 10 in those 2 games. A somewhat small sample size. Up against a Mystics team that plays 11 players. And you know, there's this whole notion that, the Mystics are tanking because they're playing 11 players. And I'm like, I'm watching them play, and it's not that. It's because the skill gap between their best players and their bench is not very big.
Yeah.
And they have so much versatility in their lineups. So for any fucking idiot who's saying that this team's tanking because they're playing their bench more, doesn't know what they're talking about. Like, they've got weapon shooters on that bench. They also have Aaliyah Edwards, who's not a great shooter, but her specific play type might be required in a certain game.
Yeah.
Right? Same
100%.
as, even Julie Van Leeuwen for bench. You can't shit on her. Like, they ain't taking, is what I'm saying.
No, you can't shit on Julie Van Leeuwen, the Belgian legend. Are you kidding me? Crush the Olympics. No, I was going to say, too, to that point, like, the reason the Mystics are, like, the 3rd worst team in the league is because Shakira Austin missed the whole season, and Brittany Sykes missed the first, 25 games. So, that's what their team is based on. It's based on Sykes and Austin and Atkins in the backcourt, and Austin being a beast down low, which, honestly, I mean, she's a top 3 center easy when she's healthy. She just can't stay healthy. And then then you got Stephanie Dolson coming in. So it is what it is. But even without Austin this season, they've been the second best team defending the paint and defending the rim. So that's one place you do not score against them. That was my only hesitation with Kennedy's hella high 21.5 point line. Was she scored for a guard? We all know she's an aggressive ass bruiser of a guard, right? And so she's going to need to get to the bucket to get her points. Even without Austin, that is where the Mystics excel. So that was the only reason I stayed away. But like, I would still consider like an RA. I think that was brought up earlier, 9.5 RA.
That's what we're looking for. We're looking for.
You're at 9.5. Okay, yeah. It's a little bit blurry for me for whatever reason, but I'll try to fix it.
It's that cryptochronic kind of light.
Yeah, it's gotta be. I have to cough too.
Yeah, this looks sweet, to be honest.
Did you say you would stay away from this though?
Fuck no. I don't stay away from things. I got a problem.
That's true. You are
I put my bets out last night and I was like, guys, let's be conservative. We just made heaps of money. Let's not go crazy with it. This is the only set we have. And then I woke up this morning. I was like, let's fucking do a little bit more, shall we?
Yeah.
And Chennedy Carter was one of those. So
nice.
I do like this over purely on usage rate, her volume, her minutes. On the point side of things, actually, I'll get to the points in a second. Let's talk about rebounds and assists. Angel Reese doesn't take rebounds. She takes rebounds away from her own team. She doesn't stop other tems from rebounding. I think you said that in your video.
Yeah, I did say that. Yeah.
I was like,
I'm glad you said it. Yeah, I'm glad you said it. Because having a high rebound percentage, that means that you get a large percentage of the rebounds. At the same time, they play fast. There's a lot of rebounds to go around. And so they've never been that good at, and they allow the fourth most points to center rebounds to centers in the league. So even with Angel out there, and that's probably because once Angel got the rebound, she bricked it off the backboard on the putback, but that gave the other team the rebound. I get you. So for Chennedy Carter, I do like. I'd lean to the over for her rebounds and assists, but I feel like this is where the line should be anyway. I feel like the line's appropriate, but this is plus money at the over 9.5, so it's definitely something I'd take a look at. Jumping to her points. So I took the over on Chennedy Carter at I don't know if it was 21 or 20, regardless, right? My thought process was, yes, I think her baskets in the restricted area may be somewhat difficult, but it's the transition, the mid-range. She scores in many other ways. We don't have a large sample size of her playing over 30 minutes with this type of volume. But this Mystics team, they do give up some points to the guard position as well. And small sample size without Angel Reese. So I think she'll get her opportunities. That's where I'm thinking anyway for Chennedy. Yeah, agreed.
What do we have? Thoughts about Wilson, under 27. No, we're not brave enough to play anybody unders on that Aces team against his Fever team. Yeah. So we're definitely leaning that way. Rickea Jackson over 3.5 rebounds. Now, she just hurt a lot of feelings yesterday because I know a few people who are betting her rebounds prop or points plus rebounds. She scored a whole lot of points and didn't get any rebounds.
She had what? She had 0. Oh, bro, that's tough. I thought everyone was just on her points yesterday.
Yeah, so
damn.
It sucks, but the over 3.5 is minus 158. If I see those odds, I just don't bet it at all. So for me, I'd be looking at over 4.5, but based on her hit rates, I probably wouldn't. But she's shown she can do it. 6 rebounds in a game against Seattle. I think what's different here is earlier in the season, they were playing Rickea Jackson at that 3-4, whereas now it looks like she's playing a lot more 2 or 3. So there's a lot of perimeter play for her, and often not in a good rebounding position. So I'm not willing to fuck with that. What's this? They moved Isabelle Harrison to 13.5 from 11.5. Do we still take her over? Ooh. Now, this is probably my favorite bet of the day, Isabelle Harrison.
You do Isabelle Harrison, but I'm gonna put my next up. Put myself in the queue for going back to Rickea when you're done with this.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, let's go back to that because I haven't started thinking it.
Okay.
All right, what do you got?
All right, so Rickea, what I was thinking here, this is how I started to look at this Sparks game, was the Storm and how they play defense, right? So there was a couple of things I was thinking, which is honestly the Storm similar to the actually the opposite of the Aces. So the Storm do defend the point guard very well. In fact,
Yes.
they limit point guards to the fewest points per game. They limit point guards to the like third fewest assists per game. They hemorrhage points to the shooting guard or anybody that's playing off of that point guard. They are second or fifth, whatever, third worst, bad. Bottom three versus shooting guards, giving up like 24 points a game to the shooting guard position. So Rickea is like at this point for the Sparks, like it's like kind of Odyssey Sims and Rickea Jackson and Azura Stevens, and like that's kind of it. Like Kia Nurse is getting burned at this point, right? So like it's all bad, but like Rickea would be the one that I would think is a little bit more likely to score as a spot up playing off of Odyssey Sims. I don't like Odyssey Sims to get her points as a result either, by the way. But what do you think about that sort of the way that the Storm play D against this team tonight?
I think Rickea Jackson will get her looks and she'll score regardless. I wouldn't say she's a matchup nightmare, but at her position, she actually has some size. She'll probably get she'll probably see a lot of Gabby Williams.
Yeah,
I'd say. But Gabby Williams isn't necessarily playing the most minutes, so she sees some Jewel Lloyd action.
Right.
She could definitely take advantage of that matchup. Like Dejanay Carrington couldn't hang with her. So if she got Jewel Lloyd with her, I think, there's the realms of being smoked here is definitely there. So, I like the over. 14.5, I do like it. I've seen her line up to 15.5 in some games, which is pretty wild. So 14.5, and if they are hemorrhaging to the off guard, then I think that's a good look. I didn't take notice of that. For this particular game, I actually, for some reason, I've got this feeling Dearica Hamby. It's an overs game for her.
I thought so too.
And it's a buy low spot.
Yeah, 13.5.
Plus 100 for 13.5.
I was like, am I fucking crazy? I know that yesterday was like a fade Hamby special, but like this ain't.
This ain't racks. I probably won almost $1,000 on betting under Dearica Hamby yesterday.
That's super sexy. Yeah, which is great against the fucking Connecticut Sun. Not, you know what I mean? Not against the fucking Storm, who it's like Ezzy's not stopping her.
Absolutely. So, and that Storm team is weak down low. So that's the whole thought process there on Hamby. But I want to get to Isabelle Harrison. There's been actually a few comments around.
Did you put a bet on Hamby? I know we'll probably come back to her, but
I did.
Okay, we'll come back to her. You're right. Get to your Izzy love. There's a lot of people I respect that love Izzy tonight. So
yes. And someone in the chat said this line moved to 13.5. So you probably find 13.5, 12.5. So I got on this at 11.5 yesterday. Now we don't have a big sample size of Isabelle Harrison playing minutes. I think she's got 4 games where she's played more than 20 minutes this season. 3 of those games she was still playing behind Angel. But at 11.5, she had hit this in 3 out of 4 games. This was the lone game without Angel, so where she dominated with 32 minutes. 21 points in that game against Dallas. She took 18 shot attempts. Now, Dallas, they let everybody score. I get it. So this matchup is not going to be that easy. But this Mystics team, I think they'll probably struggle to contain her. I think she can get the 12.5, 13.5. I can still take. Look, I'm not going to withhold everything. Shit, I even took a bet with her to get 15 points today. I didn't bet everything on it, but the main line of 11.5 is what I like, but I do have a sprinkle on 15 points for Isabelle Harrison. So I do like it. This is purely, it's hard to set her line because we don't know how much she's going to play type of thing. And the books are usually conservative. So if you can catch these types of players early, you get a few games of profitable betting until it sharpens up. But I think for now, 12.5 is probably still low, given that she's probably going to play 30 minutes, provided she doesn't get into foul trouble. Yeah, that's my thought process.
There's no more 11.5s hanging around, by the way.
No, they're gone.
Yeah, you got to get 12.5 now. So
at 12.5, it's not that sexy. I'd probably just go up to 13.5 from there. But because she's not a big free throw shooter, doesn't get to the line all too much. So but I still do like her over, even though the lines moved. Her rebound lines moved as well. 7.5. That was at 6.5. So her points and rebounds has gone up by 2 or 3. So I particularly like the points and rebounds. This was at 18.5, but it's not available on every book. So eventually I just went with points.
Gotcha.
So for those of you who are seeing Isabelle Harrison in a line move, I'd still take the over, to be honest. Just try to get plus money at the very least.
I got you.
So what do we have next up in this chat?
Oh, what a look by Jay Nice 4K real quick. When you look at his like third comment up, such a great call. Just I know we already talked about Asia, but he says Asia 11 points away from the WNBA scoring record, so she's going off tonight. That's a really, really good point, bro. It's a really solid
points off the record, eh?
Yeah. Now it doesn't mean she's going to go crazy for 30, but like a first half scoring point or something bet or something like that. Makes
she'll be in a zone today.
Yeah, I think
she'll be thinking about scoring for sure, more than she normally would.
Really, really good betting material right there. Is that type of information? I love it.
Man, Jay is nice,
yes, sir.
All right, where else were we up to on this chart? I've been scrolling up and down for ages now. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, bro.
This is fire.
Let's see. Somebody. Oh, you know what? Edwin Logan was asking about somebody, but he didn't have the name right. He was talking about Emily Engster.
Yes, this is what. Yeah, she probably plays a three or four for Washington.
Right. She was in the Olympics, I'm pretty sure too. I forget which team she was on, but
was she?
Yeah, she might have been like Germany or some shit.
What the fuck? What is her name?
Emily Engstler. That sounds German as fuck.
Yeah, there's no lines on here. That's the problem.
Okay, so yeah, you know what? She's only available on Betano as well.
Yeah, she's nice though.
She has been going off. Edwin was mentioning that earlier, and he's right. Like, yeah.
And even that other chick with the knee brace, man, she can shoot too. You see that chick with the plastic leg playing for the Mystics? She didn't make the Paralympic team, so now she's just playing in the W. Is that Katie Lou? Is that her or someone?
Talk about Carly Samuelson?
Yes, Carly. Yes, with that plastic leg. Have you seen her?
Yes,
that girl can bomb.
Yeah, she can. She can bomb. You're right. You're right about that. She doesn't have much upper lines either, though. These books are cowards, man.
Yeah. All right. Let's get this is the last one because this game's about to start, and I need to relieve my wife from her parenting duties in 3 minutes. So, Julie Van Loo, man, I love some Lulu. Over 1.53 pointers. It is a plus money play. She's had props up now for the last 5 games have been available since the Mystics are doing this 11-man, this NFL rotation, for on and off.
Hockey rotation.
Yeah. She'll still probably get only 20 minutes. This matchup against Chicago. Don't allow too many 3-pointers, though. She has been hitting in her last 3 games against them 3 games against them this season. These are the types of minutes I think you can expect to see because this is her bench production. Volume only averaging 4 attempts. So the thing about Julie Van Loo is like she's probably one of the players who's likely to hit the side of the backboard on a 3-point attempt, but she'll still make a lot of 3-pointers because she's just a bomber. She'll just chuck them up. I don't have an angle for this, to be honest. The hit rate is nice. I do like Julie Van Loo, but this Chicago team doesn't allow that many 3-pointers from what I understand.
What about the dimes? Are they still at like 3.5 or do they go to 4.5?
Let's take a look. Well, let's look
because I agree with you. I don't like her points in this one, or shots or threes or whatever. But assists caught my attention for a minute.
4.5 is plus money.
Yeah, so it's 3.5
minus 145.
Yeah, I lost the juice on that one. I was looking at it last night. I was like, this is gonna go up, man. And 4.5 is too high, and 3.5 was a nice number at like minus 120 or better.
Yeah.
So it's gone, but they give up dimes for sure. The Mystics, their defense up top is nothing like what it is down low. So
yeah. Jesse, just to your point, she does shoot 5 3-pointers per game. Well, 4.6 over her last 10. But what you need to check is she doesn't shoot 5 every game. When you average 5, she's probably having games with 8, 7, 8. But in a lot of times, she's only shooting 3.
But even if she is shooting 5, this is easy hood math, right? So if she's shooting
28%.
5, what's her percentage?
28.
So she needs to hit 40% of her threes.
That's right. So the only way she hits this 1.5 is if she takes more than what she's averaging. She needs to take 6, 7, 8 3-pointers for this to cash. Based on some hood mathematics. It's quite rare that she has a game like this against the Mercury where she was 3 from 4. And I watched that game closely because I bet on her for 2. I bet on her for 3 3-pointers in that game. And I was like, she's not shooting it. She's not shooting it. And she got one late. So, yeah. That's what I'm going to say.
Nah. The assist would have been a 3.5 play, and the shooting, it's like I'm not banking on Julie Van Loo to shoot 40% when she's shooting basically 5 threes every game.
Yeah.
So I'm with you.
We did that.
Cool.
All right, let's wrap this thing up. This game's about to start. I appreciate y'all for checking in. Sub to my channel, sub to Juicy J's, J.O. Boogie.
Damn.
Check him out. We'll do more of these streams over the coming weeks. We'll be sure to schedule those things in. So I appreciate you guys for being here. Best of luck. Gamble responsibly, but not really.
Peace, y'all. Later.